Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Touch. I'm Darwin Campbell. The Morning Touch is brought to you by the Chaplaincy for the Homeless and the FSBC in Glendale. I come to you on the last and final day of 2020, a day that we've all been looking forward to. First of all, we want to wish you a happy new year. As we look ahead, I want us to turn to Colossians chapter 3. That's where we're going to focus on this morning. In Colossians chapter 3, we find some information that will help us start the new year off right. Many of us want to start the new year off right. The question becomes, is it possible for me to have a do-over or a makeover? The answer to that question, we will look at. But first of all, let's get into our lesson. In 2003, quarterback Rich Gannon of the Oakland Raiders was in the game of his life. It was Super Bowl 37. This was a man who had become the best player in the National Football League for 2003, voted most valuable player. He goes into a game where it should be sure that the Oakland Raiders would become the next Super Bowl champions. They had Rich Gannon, reigning MVP, quarterback. Gannon goes into the game and he throws 5 interceptions, a Super Bowl record, 5 interceptions in the most important game of the year, the championship. What a time to have a bad game. What a time to have everything go wrong. Anything that could go wrong in that game went wrong for Rich Gannon. The Raiders lost 48-21. And over 21 points of the 48 were caused by Gannon's interceptions. I'm sure quarterback Rich Gannon would love to go back to 2003, the Super Bowl 37. I know he'd like to have a do-over. That was indeed a bad game. I know he would like to have a complete, absolute makeover, to change his name, to change his image, and to change history. Oftentimes, do-overs are impossible because we cannot time travel back to an episode or event that we would like to change. We cannot improve on an event that's already happened that we'd like to change or even stop altogether. You know, when I think about moving into 2021, we all know what 2020 has brought to us. Unemployment, the possibility of eviction, COVID-19, the pandemic, and all of the hoopla surrounding it. It has literally changed our lives in the way we think and we act and we feel. But in spite of all that has taken place, my friends, the Bible in Colossians 3 tells us that you can have a do-over and a makeover. The power to change and the power to start fresh and the power to begin anew is in your hands. You have the power to sweep out bad habits. You have the power to sweep out inappropriate language and seedy friends, questionable behavior and hangouts. You can clean up your room. I remember my grandmother used to say, y'all go in there this morning, clean up your room. Well, you know something, as we sweep out the old and we bring in the new, you have the opportunity to clean up your room. 2020 will be gone. 2021 is an opportunity for you to have a fresh do-over, a spiritual makeover, a spiritual do-over that can change your life and change your destiny and change your history. You say, well, brother, how is that? You can resolve to come clean. You can resolve to part ways with the sinful, the wrong, and the negative. Many of us are unwilling to give up the bad things. We're unwilling to turn our backs on negative behavior and negative friends and bad habits and questionable hangouts. We are neglectful in our willingness to give that up. But my friends, the Bible teaches you how you can start fresh with a spiritual do-over and a spiritual makeover. First, it comes by accepting Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. And when you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, no matter what your history, no matter what your background, no matter what you've been doing or have done, none of that matters. When you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, therein lies your beginning, your new beginning, your fresh start, your makeover, your do-over. The Bible tells us in book Colossians chapter 3 and verse 2 that then you start seeking the things that are above. You start thinking and wanting to be like Jesus Christ and do the things that Jesus did. We're told in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 2 that upon your decision to have a spiritual makeover or do-over, when you sit down in God's spiritual chair for that makeover, you set your affections on things above, not on things of the earth. Nothing on this earth matters when you decide to have a spiritual makeover and do-over. You start thinking Christ. You start thinking God. You start building a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. You seek a deeper knowledge of Jesus, not just a Sunday to Sunday tap and touch. Too many Christians have a Sunday to Sunday tap and touch approach to Christianity. That's not it. A do-over means that you will seek the deep things of God, not just be tapped on Sunday morning with the gospel. Number 2, you focus on clean, holy living. Look at Colossians chapter 3 and verse 8. But now put off anger, put off wrath, put off malice, put off blasphemy, pull off filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not one to another. If we want this change, if we want this spiritual do-over and makeover, we must give up some things. Got to give up the lying, give up the cheating, give up the anger, give up the wrath, give up the filthy communication, give up the backstabbing, give up the lying, and so on and so forth. There are some things you got to give up in order to live clean and holy. Number 3, you've got to buy in to godly virtues. Look at verse 10 of Colossians 3. It says, put off the old man and his deeds. The things you used to do, don't do them anymore. Turn your back and walk away from them. Put on the new man. And when you put on the new man, you live in the image of God, our Lord Savior Jesus Christ. Focus on godly virtues, building godly virtues, godly character in your heart and your life. And then, of course, you live holy, domestically and socially. You don't do things that bring shame and reproach on God, Jesus Christ. And then, of course, Colossians chapter 4 and verse 2, the Bible tells us to pray, pray, pray. You need prayer because the devil is coming after you. He's coming after me. He does not want your spiritual makeover. He does not want your spiritual do-over to be successful. He's coming after you with all he has. You need the prayer of God to strengthen your heart. So in 2021, as we wind down today's lesson, as we close out this year, focus on living like Jesus, like he lived, speaking the things he spoke, walking in the ways that he walked. Bring out the Spirit's best in you. Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23, the fruits of the Spirit. And then, of course, redevelop your vision. 2020 vision in 2021 means letting the light of Jesus Christ shine in your life, that men may glorify God and come to know God. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 16. So we call upon you today. You know, we don't have to be Rich Gannon, throw 5 interceptions and live with it forevermore. We can change our lives. We can change our direction. We can change our purpose, and it does and will make a difference eternally. Make those changes and adjustments. Decide to be a difference maker in 2021. Decide to come to Jesus and develop that knowledge. Focus on clean living. Change your partners and partnerships from sin to godliness and godly virtues. You know, the Morning Touch is brought to you by the FSBC in Glendale and the Chaplaincy for the Homeless. We wish you a happy holiday season and certainly a happy new year. We'll see you on the other side of 2021. God bless you and keep you on the Morning Touch.